All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome back. This is episode number 2 of our Freshforward release notes review. We are talking about Blackboard Learn Ultra release 3900.82, and today we are actually looking at, wrong screen there. Let me do this one so it looks cool. We're looking at Learn Ultra's AI Design Assistant. My name's Liam. I'm one of your hosts. Joining us today is also Colleen.
Welcome, everyone.
Our lovely producer, and as well, my trusty co-host is Faith.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome.
All right, so thanks for that intro, Liam. And you're right, we're talking about the new release that's come out, and we're super excited about it. So the AI Design Assistant really is a way that Anthology has come to think of ways that we can generate great, authentic questions or to use in our assessments when we are teaching in Ultra. So we're going to demo some of that today and kind of do a deeper dive into what that means today.
Yeah. And to help us make that happen, we've got our friend and colleague, Stephen Kooy. I'm going to bring him onto the stage there. Hi, Stephen. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
Glad to have you here. Do you want to introduce yourself? Tell people kind of what you do here at Georgian, and we'll get started on our demonstration.
Sounds good. Thank you, Liam. My name is Stephen Kooy. I'm also part of the Blackboard team. I am a digital learning and LMS technologist as my full-time job, but I also teach in the faculty part-time as well, teach in the HTR department and the liberal arts department as well. So today I'm going to be an acting
Technical difficulties right off the hop.
questions. Oh, there we go. We're back.
So okay, sorry, okay. Steve.
That's okay.
We kind of lost you there with the. Can you just repeat that?
Yep. So I am going to be taking a faculty role today, and I will be asking my colleagues and friends here to help me generate some authentic assessments using the AI design tool in my course.
Awesome.
Wonderful. Cool. All right, Faith, you want to take us through, guide us through the process and
right. So as an instructor, then with that instructor lens, then Steve, can you tell us a little bit more about some of the learning outcomes in your course, or what kind of goals you might have for your students?
Yep. So I have some assessments that I really want to think differently about. One of my learning outcomes is to illustrate how culture affects behaviors, communication, language, and identity. And I have the students, I want to get them to write some discussion posts to generate some real authentic discussions amongst themselves on what that really means, and taking some of our concepts within the class. But I'm having some trouble. I have a general idea of my prompt, but I'm having some trouble generating some subtopics or some sub-discussions that I really want them to think about.
Right. And this is based off of content that's they've already read or have gone through on their own that you've already.
Yeah. So in my upcoming weeks, I have an idea. I want to show them a video from a TED Talk that has some information about personal identity and defining themselves. And then I also have a textbook reading or reading that they can use as supplementary resources.
Okay.
Much of it will come though from the authenticity, is what I want them to do, is to relate their personal experiences with the readings and the video.
Right. Okay. So definitely we know we're honing in on a discussion board because you've got that vision already. So let's go to the generative tool there within the discussion board creation area. So we're going to go to discussions. We're going to create a new discussion. And then in the right corner there, we see that trusty little star icon in the top right. So we can give it a name right off the hop. And actually the name will be used in the auto generation tool. So we might want to be a little bit more descriptive here right off the hop.
Okay, so in this case here, I would be using the term culture and identity.
Right. So something that relates to that topic for sure. I think that'll help the tool. And then now we can click in. So thanks for that. And here we see the description box. And even though the box looks kind of small, I think it's important to note that we've followed up with Anthology and learned that this description box is actually endless. So we could put in a lot of information here if we wanted to. And the more rich our description is, I think the more specific of a prompt we'll get on the right-hand side. So just keep that in mind, that even though it looks like it might be looking for maybe a sentence or two or a paragraph, it's certainly not limited to that, right? And then we've got our desired cognitive level, which is, I think, for those who are familiar with pedagogy and a little bit more about with a teaching experience, would know that this relates to Bloom's taxonomy. So if we drop down that little arrow there under the desired cognitive level, it gives us examples of verbs that we can use that we're honing in on. So this is a great way to tie in that learning outcome. And you mentioned, right, that you want them to discuss. So maybe are we analyzing? What do you think what verb would be appropriate here to choose, Steve?
So in this case here, the learning objective is illustrate. However, I would like them to analyze in this case.
Yep, that's okay. And then the complexity is our last bit here. And we also followed up with Anthology to kind of get a sense of what is low and what's high. Low would be towards like, I think elementary to high school level sort of complexity, and high meaning postgraduate. So I think for most of our purposes, actually, I think you're doing a post-grad cert, aren't you, Steve?
This is a COM 2023 class.
Oh,
so
it's a COM. So we're going to go probably more towards the middle, right? Does that sound like a good?
Yep.
Yeah. And so, we might want to tweak that depending on where we're at in our semesters in a program. We might want to, push it a little ahead or a little below, depending on where we're at with the students at the college level in their programs. And then we have an option to generate a discussion title or not here as well. So we could, what do we want to do? We want to try that out?
Let's leave that on.
Okay. And now we're going to click generate, and it's going to, we need to put the description in.
Let's throw in cultural identity, social identity.
Sorry.
This always happens in demos, right? Your fingers are like, I'm on screen.
And integration.
A bit shy.
And marginalization.
And marginalization. All right. Some
topic headings.
All right.
So we've just given it a couple of keywords here.
And that can work.
Yeah. So right away, we've got 3 examples of some analyze activities. Discuss the ways in which culture influences the formation of social identity. Provide examples from different cultural contexts and analyze how cultural norms, traditions, and values contribute to individuals' sense of identity. Include at least one photograph or diagram to visually illustrate your points. Consider how cultural integration and marginalization impact the development of social identity in diverse societies.
So right off the hop, Liam, there, I can see that first question is something along the lines of my learning objective, what I really want them to do. It also coordinates with the illustration portion of the LO, and I think that's really key into demonstrating in different ways as well. So I think I'd use that first one right off the bat.
Okay.
See, nice and easy. But just a couple points maybe before we, so say it wasn't ideal, right? Maybe then we go back to that description, give it a little bit more. We were talking about this earlier. You said that this was going to be based off some content you'd already shared with the students. You could put the content in the description so that the tool knows exactly what they should, have in the forefront of their minds, or even the transcript of the video could potentially go in there.
And
right?
how much content can I put into that box if that's
endless? They say you can go and go and go.
Perfect.
But and some other things too. I think you can say almost like a ChatGPT thing, focusing on reflection, or you could kind of add in a couple prompts maybe and see how that works. We're certainly new with using the description text box there. So I think we should all be encouraged to play with it and see how what we do impacts what comes out. I think we should mention too, Liam, before we kind of move forward and see is, unlike ChatGPT, anything that's entered into this description box or anything that we share with this tool within our course is not uploaded into, right. Liam, did you want to talk about that a little bit more? You have a really great way of describing that.
So Anthology has a great framework for use of AI in their courses. So first of all, the institution, your college or university, gets to decide if you're going to use AI at all. And then you as the instructor get to choose whether or not you're going to use it in your course. So here we've opted to use it, but you will see you have to be deliberate and select it and add it, or else it won't go in there. And one of the, I think, biggest concerns around use of AI is whether or not your information is going out, and it's really locked down. It's not being, so it doesn't train the AI tool for other instructors. It doesn't even train the AI tool for your other courses. What you do in this course is in this course, and that's where the fence for that interaction with AI is kind of limited. Is it stops at the boundaries of your course.
That's
Now,
great.
let's say I wanted to change something in that prompt there. Is there a way to do so?
Yeah, what I've done, let's show that in on the next screen, because I did add in here, because you had mentioned prior that you're going to have the students watch this video from a TED Talk on YouTube. So I've added this in here, that this should be related to the video. So just going to regenerate that quickly, and then we'll move forward to show exactly that part. Let it do its thing. There you go. So now it's gone even further and saying, watch that TED Talk, and you can see that it's pulling stuff in there from the title.
Wow.
If we added the description from the video as well, then we get even more detail. So it's kind of like the more meat you give it, the juicier the feedback it's going to get. So yeah, to your question then, Steve, if you like something, you think this one's pretty good, but you want to make some changes, let's select it. And we're going to click add, and you see it's pulled in the title that it created, and it's giving you the text, but now you're immediately in here as the editor.
That's great. It feels reading over this here. I mean, I can see that the question is complex. It feels personal. It feels like they are connecting with the material. I can honestly feel the authenticity that the AI has kind of generated here.
Cool. So you could see yourself using this in the course.
Yes, for sure.
And I mean, and I'm thinking too, you could really jazz this up to add your own images. You could even add a video or recording of yourself explaining the assessment, and right, to add that other element of audio. Immediately now you've taken a prompt that I think I would take me about quite a while, right, to tease over and type out myself. And now I have extra time, not extra, but I can use my time to really make this assessment. Yes, there it is right there.
That's
I
wonderful.
can even make a video, a screencast, and now I've made this amazing assessment in less than 10 minutes.
Wow.
So let's click save, and there we go.
Cool.
Done. That was great. Okay. This one got a little longer. Do we want to go through any further demonstration, or should we wrap this one up here and invite people to reach out if they have questions?
Maybe with staying on the same theme and the same assessment that Steve's got going. Steve, do you see yourself using a rubric maybe to grade their responses? Sure. Okay, let's use the AI generation tool to create a rubric for this specific discussion board next.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to go to the gear icon. And I think it needs to be gradable.
Oh, thank you.
But by default, discussions are not. So we need to tell it. We can go through the settings with the discussion board, with the due date. But here is where we can add in a rubric. And again, we can click that generate button. And this will look similar in that there's a description box and then the details of how we want to set up the rubric below.
So given that I haven't come up with a rubric yet, and I'm going from scratch here, how could I make this a little easier for myself?
I think maybe we can hop back. Maybe we grab the prompt from the discussion board.
Yeah, let me grab that here. Just close.
And come back. All right, so copy that as your first step. Perfect.
Make it gradable.
And go back in. Okay.
And complexity, we'll keep it there. We've got 4 columns. That's the different achievement levels. And we have 4 rows. And this is what it's done. Reflected on key messages and concepts. Choice of visual representation, because in we were telling it to grab a photograph. We've got explanation of elements in relation to the concepts. Analysis of complexity and interconnectedness. And then it's got exemplary all the way down to developing.
Hey, I like that language.
Yeah.
Good.
And again, just like we said before, the this is, you get to edit this, like you take it
Yeah.
and then you can edit it. So, and then it's given you the descriptions. It's also in percentage form. We could change that to points beforehand. I'm not going to do that then because it'll regenerate. But yeah, we're set to go.
Okay.
And if we're happy
What do
with
you
this
think
as
of
a
that,
starting point, does
Yeah,
that
there
make-
might be some editing I might do here.
Sure.
Yeah, and maybe like I still want to include some formatting, right?
Yeah.
Or some grammar. You could always add that one in. I think if we click, is it okay if we use this one
Sure,
to go forward?
this one will go forward as our example. I think this is great. I would put in some measurable words or measurable achievements in there as well, just to kind of show that the students have some demonstration or really how that they can earn that percentage. But
Right.
Mhm.
But that's pretty. It's a great head start, I
yeah,
think.
this saves me a lot of time. Having not had anything to start with, I feel already very comfortable, and that I can create this and going forward and good to go for focusing on my teaching.
Exactly. Making it like shine, right? And marking, of course. We always need
Exactly.
time for that. So those are just two really easy ways to use this new tool. I'm not sure if we have too much more time to demo, but what were some other ways that we were thinking today?
I wanted to do a definitions quiz, but I'm always worried about them just kind of, oh, this is too easy. I needed something more real. It was something that was a little bit more complex
Mhm.
when I'm asking definition questions. Is there any way that our tool can
We
do
could
something with
try.
that?
Yeah. Okay. Let's keep it going. This is great. I think this
Okay.
tool deserves time. I think it's going to impact our course design in such an amazing
Mhm.
way.
Mhm.
So, okay. So we're talking about quizzes then, Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's build a quiz.
Now, I don't have any content for this quiz.
Okay.
Okay. I will
Um,
share some content with you.
I'll just say
if you have,
like a,
oh, maybe do we want to do like the test question generator from a piece of content? With that,
yeah.
let's do that. I'm gonna create a document, and
Okay.
what I'll do off screen is I'm gonna grab the transcript from that same video that we were just talking about. So
Right.
bear with me here as I load this up. Oh, we're gonna learn about ClickUp here. Save this, and in here somewhere you can, let me just pause it so we're not listening to it. Where do we?
But this is a great how-to on how to grab a transcript. Yeah.
Here's a transcript. So I just expanded the definite or the description. Show transcript. You can see it's all up here. It's going to be easier if we get rid of those timestamps. So let's turn that off. And now I'm going to go like this. Copy all of this. And obviously you want to be sensible about copyright and so forth. But I'm just using this here to demonstrate, assuming you have access to the content or like.
Right. So you've just pasted that right into the document, like a blank.
Yeah.
Right. We're not making a quiz yet. We're just creating a document with the transcript of the content on there, what we want them to have seen or reviewed.
Yeah.
Okay.
And obviously this is a transcript, so it's formatted funny, right? But then at the bottom of our text, we've got auto-generate question bank. So let's click there. We've got essays, fill in the blanks, matching, multiple choice. You can see it's already gotten started to do some work here. Let's just see what it's come up with. And we've got kind of medium-high complexity. We've got 4 questions. Which statement best describes the speaker's view on the concepts of countries? You can see the correct answer. It's selected countries are invented and not the basis for understanding a human being. So
Wonderful.
Obviously, with everything that AI gives you, you review it and make sure that you agree with it, because there's a term in AI language where we say there's a risk of hallucinating and presenting things as fact, and it's not.
Yeah.
But then the next one, the speaker believes the nationality is the most important factor in understanding a person's identity. And having watched a fair chunk of this video, I would say that's absolutely false in her perspective. And then it's given us an essay question. So according to the speaker, how does the experience shape her experience shape her identity? And it's even given you an example of a correct response there. So that's pretty wild.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
Where did the speaker go on their first book tour? 14. I don't know if that's accurate. Probably. I think that's. I think I recall that.
I saw it in the transcript. It is
right.
correct.
Perfect.
Excellent. There you go. And then if you look at this, like maybe that one is maybe that's too fluffy and you don't want to include that. We can just say, well, I want to use question 3 and question 2 and question 1, and we're going to add those 3 questions to a bank.
I just feel my free time opening up.
Yeah. And then I don't know about you, Steve, but when I see it, I'm like, oh, and then I could do this. And then I could, go about it this way. It gets you going, right? Gets the creativity flowing, maybe.
Yeah, these 3 questions have really kind of given me that kind of example that I really like. Sometimes I get a little flustered with all my workload and everything like that. Now I just feel a little bit more confident in my ability to take over from here.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And we've used we use the discussion board generator to create a discussion board, and we use the test question generator to generate test questions. But both of those 2 situations, we could have grabbed the text from one of those discussion board prompts and said, I'm going to turn this into an assignment. And I want students to make this a bigger thing where we're actually going to be creating a larger infographic or a bigger Venn diagram or a bigger illustration or something like that, instead of making it a discussion post, which opens up more opportunities. Same thing with these questions. You may find like this question, this true false one here, that might be actually what you want to hone in on and turn that into a discussion board comment instead of a test question. So there's a lot of creative control.
I think too, we talk often about leading a live class or a synchronized class in like in a just sort of a mind-catching kind of way. Well, I could envision myself just generating a prompt question to start to lead in with my class. It's not, I'm not going to keep it. It's not going to be left in Blackboard, but quickly I could say, this is the videos we're watching today in class. Let's get the conversation flowing. I could use it there too, right? So
I hadn't thought of that before. That's great.
You could just, use it in whatever way you need it to. But it's just so cool and how fast that can all come together when developing a new course, or you're thinking of redoing things, looking at assessments in new ways. We didn't really talk about either how, because we're talking about authentic assessment and using those verbs like the Bloom's taxonomy to filter and kind of generate those questions, it should be harder for the students to use AI to answer those generated questions, right? So it's also a tool in this, how are we going to navigate things like students using ChatGPT? I think a lot of these questions will be on your side in that regard, right? That students need to use personal examples, create infographics, or do a little bit more so they're not just cutting and pasting from ChatGPT, right?
That's awesome. I really appreciate that, because I feel so much more comfortable now.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Good.
Okay.
All right. I think that's a great place to land it, to be honest. I think that was a great soapbox moment for you, Faith. So thank you for closing us off there. Thanks, Steve, for using your course and what you're bringing your students through for today's example.
Yeah, you make it
this was
so real.
Legitimate.
Yeah.
This is way better than me doing a demonstration about the history of the world according to cats. So this was good.
Also an interesting course.
I was gonna say, I'd watch that.
Yeah.
But no, Steve, you helped make it really real. So thanks for that. And thanks, Colleen, for letting us know that the info was accurate on the question there from the video.
Keen eye, Faith. It's a keen eye.
The details. She knows the details.
That's it.
Okay.
Cool. Well, let's wrap up here. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We're going to do, I think the next one's maybe on gradebook view enhancements or something. We'll find out what we're doing next.
Something awesome.
So stay tuned. Thanks, everybody, for watching us. And we welcome your comments. Like, share, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, all that YouTube jargon. So, have a great rest of your week, everybody. We'll talk soon.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.